Hello everybody and welcome back to another Game News Roundup. This has been recorded live after the last several being recorded off stream. This is being live. Twitch.tv/TrunksWD if you want to catch these live or me playing any random games that I'm currently playing. We've got a couple of things for this specific video, and again, if you enjoy this, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subs. I'm, 300 or so away. Getting there slowly but surely. It'd be kind of cool to finally hit that 10,000 number, which I realize, compared to most YouTubers, that's small. But anyways, PlayStation consoles have reached a new milestone. They have sold over 500 million units combined. This is just for home consoles. This does not include the PSP or the PS Vita. So this is just PS1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 have passed 500 million units sold, which would mean an average of 100 million each, and obviously that's going to keep going up as the PS5 keeps selling. And actually, only the PS3, excluding the PS5, is the only one that did not sell over 100 million units lifetime. PS5, I'm sure, will get there in time. In due time, it will get there. So yeah, Sony's PlayStation home consoles have reached a new sales milestone, having sold over a combined 500 million units since the original PlayStation released in Japan in December 1994. The original PlayStation, again, went on to sell 102.49 million units lifetime. The PS2, 158.7 million. PS3, 87.4 million. PS4, 117.02 million. Sony has shipped 117.2 million PS4s. Can't remember what I said. 117.02 is what our estimates are. This is VGChartz estimates. Is where we have the PS4. It is still selling, and by the end of the year, it'll likely, that little bit is selling each week still. We'll bring it up to that 117.2 million units sold lifetime by the end of this year. And the PS5, we have sell-through at 35.94 million units. I know shipment figures are a little over 38 million, but there's a gap between sell-through and shipped as it takes time for consoles to ship around the world, whether it's by boat and then by train and by truck and all that stuff. It takes time, and Sony's, at least so far this year, has been shipping 2 million PlayStation 5s per month. And also, at least around here, and I'm seeing online, the PS5 is not selling out like it used to, so they are sticking around on store shelves for at least a little bit. So yeah, all of our PlayStation 1 to 5 have sold a combined estimated 501.55 million units together, which again will be going up each month as the PS5 continues to sell, and a little bit from the PS4 as well. As I mentioned, the figure does not include PlayStation handhelds, which the PSP had sold 80.79 million units estimated lifetime, and the PS Vita estimated 15.82 million units lifetime. And if you were to include the PlayStation handhelds, it's just a hair under 600 million at 598.16 million units. There's a good chance, if you look at where PS5 sales will probably be for the month of April, that it might just tick over 600 million combined, including PlayStation handhelds. So yeah, the PS1 originally released in Japan in December 94, and then worldwide in 1995. The PS2 launched worldwide in 2000. PS3 launched in Japan and North America in November 2006, and then in Europe in March 2007. PS4 first launched in the West in November 2013, and then in Japan in February 2014, and the PS5 launched worldwide in 2020. And speaking of the PS5, as I think I mentioned this in a previous video, but a little bit more in-depth right now, Sony did beat its previous forecast for the last fiscal year from April to March 2023 by 100,000. Their last forecast was 19 million for the fiscal year. They ended up at 19.1 million, which meant 6.3 million PS5s were shipped from January to March of this year. And the forecast for the 2023 fiscal year, which runs from April 1st, 2023 to March 31st, 2024, is 25 million units for the PS5, which would easily be a new record for a PlayStation console in a fiscal year. The only consoles or any video game platforms that ever beaten it would be a Switch, as well as the DS. It would be the only time this console has sold more or shipped more in a single fiscal year. The previous record for a PlayStation was set by the original PlayStation at 22.6 million units in the fiscal year 98. The PS2 had a peak of 22 million units in fiscal year 2002. PS3 had a peak of 14.4 million in fiscal year 2010, and the PS4 had a peak of 20 million units in fiscal year 2016. 16. So yeah, 25 million for the PS5. If Sony is able to achieve it, will be a new record for PlayStation. And also to note, if PlayStation does ship 25 million units, it will bring lifetime shipment figures for the PS5 up to 63.4 million units. At the end of March 2024, you subtract the difference between you subtract what's not been sold, you probably get around 61, a little over 61 million units sell-through at the end of March of next year. This would also be 3.2 million units above where the PS4 was during the same amount of time. The PS5 has been tracking behind the PS4 since more or less since launch the line, mainly due to the shortages, but now that Sony is able to, ship more PS5 consoles, the shortage is pretty much being over at this point. By the end this time next year, the PS5 will most likely be ahead of the PS4 launch aligned. And again, if you want to take a quick breakdown of lifetime sales, PS2, number 1, 158.7 million, DS, 154.02 million, Switch, 123.91 million, Game Boy, 118.69 million, and PS4, 117.02 million, which will be peaking out once it's done being sold at 117.20 million. Sell-through lifetime once it's done. And then the PS1, 102.49 million units. And we have the PS5 at 35.94 million units. So if it does reach, for this fiscal year, if it does reach where it's expected, sell-through will be just behind the NES. Well ahead of the Xbox One, behind the NES, right around here. It'll be in 14th place. And then quickly move above the NES, and then a little bit before it gets to the 3DS, and etc., etc. Moving its way up the best-selling video game consoles or gaming platforms of all time. This includes handhelds, home consoles, I can say the hybrid like the Switch, and other like gaming-dedicated, kind of PC-dedicated gaming platforms as well. This was recently updated, adding a lot of consoles and platforms I've never heard of. Our editor-in-chief spent a lot of hours doing research, finding all of this available sales data of these platforms. Some of these I have heard of, some of them not so much. And this is just what data is available. So, if we missed anything, let us know. Otherwise, that's going to do it for this quick little game news roundup, as always. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Again, PlayStation home consoles have sold over 500 million units. And if you include handhelds, it is just a hair under 600 million. You include PS5 sales in April, it'll likely be over 600 million once you include handhelds. So, yeah, thank you all so much for watching. See you all next time for some more Game News Roundup.